And then there were 8. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we get ready for race number 13, chase race number 3, the beginning of round 2 of our playoff system here at the M&MS SuperSpeedway. Last week at Armory Digital, we whittled our playoffs grid down from 12 to 8. And now, those 8 will embark on a 2-race journey to see if they can make their way into the Final Four to compete for the championship at the season finale at Zen Joltis. 26 laps on tap here today at this racetrack. And this is a track that really played a big factor into the playoffs, if you will, for the regular season, because the winner of this race, when we were here the last time, Benjamin Miles, got in to the playoffs via wildcard spot number 2. However, Benjamin Miles, coming into this race, is one of 4 drivers that headed into last week's race at Armory, still compete for the championship, but now are out of the championship hunt. In today's race at M&M's, Miles joined with Austin LaPlante, Steve Morgan, and Preston Plourd. They are now no longer eligible to win the championship, so they're just going to try and finish out the season as best they can. Probably the biggest shocker out of all of that, Steve Morgan, who was battling with Zachary Fitzwater for a majority of the regular season for the points lead, 2 of the most consistent drivers this season, and now Morgan is left to try and just finish out the year no longer in championship contention. But there are 8 drivers that still have a shot at the title. They include Alex Gray, Zachary Fitzwater, Ashlyn Boyd, Zach Rogers, Brenna Carmichael, Joseph Srigley, Eli Bright, and Dallas McIntosh. Will keep tabs on all 8 of those drivers during the course of today's race. Let's go down trackside and get the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
And as the command is given, the point standings coming into this race, very doggone close. Why? Because the points got reset after the completion of last week's round 1. Right now, Alex Gray, who was able to take the checkered flag back in the first race of round 1 at Daytona, got 3 extra bonus points because of that win. So he is the points leader by 3 points over everybody else, who are all tied at 1,500 points apiece. I think probably the biggest shocker last week that made it into the round of 8 was Brenna Carmichael in the 73. As you think back to the first race of the first round at Daytona, Brenna Carmichael ran out of fuel during the cycle green flag pit stops between turns 3 and 4. Had to coast all the way to pit road and lost a ton of track position, but was able to get a 14th place finish last week at Armory, and that was enough to leapfrog not only Austin LaPlante, but also Preston Plourd, who looked like he was the one that was in line to capitalize on LaPlante's misfortune at Armory, and instead Brenna Carmichael was able to get in just barely into the round of 8. A couple of drivers that have a lot of momentum on their side after some good runs last week. Zach Rogers finished really well at Armory, as did Zachary Fitzwater. And another driver that's really stepped up his finish the last couple of weeks is Joseph Srigley, so I'd watch out for the 77 here today as well. Of course, Ashlyn Boyd has been very consistent the whole season. And Alex Gray had a great run with that win at Daytona. He had a mediocre run at Armory. Hopefully he's not going to be in an up and down fluctuation of luck. Hopefully he's going to be able to keep momentum up here today in this one at M&M's. And we've got much better frames here today at M&M's than we've had in the past, which makes me very happy. Patrick Smith, Preston Plourd, they're going to be the ones to lead us down here for the green flag. And round number 2 of the chase is green. Already some drivers making some moves to the bottom of the racetrack. That was Tim Walsh, Justin Zajdel, and then the last car to make a move there was the 24 of Zach Rogers, right behind Alex Gray in the 90. Up front, Patrick Smith, J Gardner 1-2, and then it looks like the battle will be on for 3rd. Seth Cole has it. Got A Navarro right behind him. Alex Gray and Zach Rogers going 3 wide as J Gardner looks for the top position. Patrick Smith in a Ford. Ford has picked up the last 2 victories this season. Alex Gray winning at Daytona, and last week the checkered flag being captured by Zach Flickinger. And Gardner will lead the first lap of the day here at M&M's. Speaking of M&M's, there's the M&M's Pontiac Grand Prix of J Richardson getting moved up to the high side there. How cool would it be if he could win at a track that is sponsored with the same sponsor he has on the hood of his Grand Prix, as the battle for the lead is on. Zach Rogers trying to take the top spot away from Johnny Gardner. Here comes last week's runner-up, Tim Walsh. He's going to go to the inside, 3 wide for the top position. Zach Rogers, I think, wishes that he could have been on the bottom of the racetrack. Why? Because he would have loved to have led this lap and gotten himself a bonus point. Who's going to lead the lap between Walsh and Kyle Keith? It will be Walsh on the top side. 3 wide, 4 wide, all the way through this field. Walsh tries to throw the block on Kyle Keith, but Keith was already there to the left rear quarter panel. And now Keith slips up through the center of turn 2. That opens the door down low for J Richardson. Ford up top, Chevy in the middle, Pontiac down low. They'll carry this 3 wide down into turn 3. The Pontiac's working together down low. Chevy had a Ford behind him, and the Ford had a Chevy behind him, though. And now it's going to be a battle between a couple of Pontiacs of who's going to lead this lap. Shane Lake, J Richardson. It's going to be Richardson by a splitter. Meanwhile, 4 wide, that's for third. Justin Zajdel way down to the bottom as Kyle Keith went way up in the entry of turn 1. And we were nearly 5 wide for a brief moment there because of that. Shane Lake going to take the top position now, and here comes another of our playoff drivers working his way towards the front. Eli Bright in the 8. He's got Jonathan Zoerlein with him, and also the driver who won here the last time we were at M&M's, Benjamin Miles in the 4. Oh, trouble in the back! The pole sitter, Patrick Smith, spins around. Caution will wave. And from what I saw, it looked like everybody was avoiding the 98. I don't know if everybody continued to avoid as the camera went off screen. But we may have gotten away with something there off turn 4. Field starting to slow down the back straightaway. Shane Lake is the race leader. He'll resume the spot as soon as they get down to the pacing speed and pick up the pace car. Manuel Hartnett's on pit road, and Steve Morgan, who was just recently eliminated last week, he was involved in this, and there's the 98. Nope, doesn't look like he got missed. Another car involved, that was Levi McIntyre's, I believe, 99, all crunched up. Looked like they must have taken some pretty violent hits, too. That's a lot of damage on a number of machines. Seth Cole also involved in the 44. He's got a lot of damage, front and rear. Most importantly, looking at our playoff contenders, and for the most part, I don't think any of our 8 were involved in the wreck, and we've got some takers on pit road. Zajdel, Miles, Navarro, Brommer, they're coming to pit lane. That could be very important if this thing goes green for a good portion of the remainder of this race. Shane Lake's the leader under caution, though. Big wreck on the front straightaway by the looks of the skid marks. Let's see what happened. It all is going to start with our pole sitter, Patrick Smith, who had faded to the back awfully quickly. And let's see if the contact starts here with him in the 23. No, it actually was the 97 of Winkle and the 9 of Fitzwater who got together. That sent Fitzwater up into Shelly, who then got into Patrick Smith. There's contact with Fitzwater. He gets hit into Hartnett, and they both spin down pit road. Oh, Seth Cole. Boy, what happened to him? He ran to the back of the 13. And then McIntyre ran to the back of him. Steve Morgan gets collected. Phil Parker's involved. Oh, I think the 77 of Srigley got a piece of it. And that is one of our playoff contenders. There's no real visible damage, but I think he got involved. And then Patrick Smith into Steve Morgan. Oh, and Fitzwater, another of our playoff contenders. A lot of damage on the 9. That's why we didn't see him, because I think he just took the car to the garage area after he had spun down pit road with Hartnett. Let's look back at that. because he might have hit... Oh, wow, that was a lick. My goodness, look at this. Right there, the contact with Patrick Smith directions him down towards the pit road entrance. Contact with Alexander Rowe. Tries to save it, fishtails, and there's Hartnett. And it sends the both of them down. And look right here, look right there. Fitzwater, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it looks like he got back to the gas trying to save it, and he literally accelerated into that inside wall. And that's a lot of damage there. And I also want to look real quickly here, focus on the 77 of Joseph Srigley. Might not have been him, but I think it was that hit the 75. Yeah, it was. I don't know how significant the contact is there, but watch right here as the 75 makes contact there, spins back up, and right there, with the left front, Srigley makes some contact. There's no smoke or anything, but this track in particular is all about aerodynamics, and I don't know if that's going to cause any aerodynamic issues for the 77 or not, but we could very well have had our first exit from making it into the Final Four in the form of Zachary Fitzwater. Keep in mind, though, Fitzwater headed into last week's race at Armory in the danger zone and still made it into the round of 8, so we'll have to see what he does next week at Talladega, but looks like he will be the first playoff driver that will retire from the race here today at M&M's. Light should go out top of the pace car the next time by for us to be able to go back green flag racing. Some drivers did take the opportunity to come to pit road, including the driver that was running second place at the time of caution, the 94 of Justin Zajdel. So we'll have to see if we do go into a long green flag run here, how that's going to play out in terms of pit strategy. We know that these drivers, when they took the green flag to start the race, could not make it the full 26 distance laps without coming to pit road at least once. You have to wonder if maybe those extra 3 or 4 laps of fuel that those drivers that came to pit road will have, they will play a factor into the outcome of today's race. So we have gotten the 1 to green signal. The drivers out of the race after that wreck, 4 in total, and they are Seth Cole, Patrick Smith, Levi McIntyre, and Zachary Fitzwater. So Fitzwater going to find himself behind the 8 ball again heading into next week's race at Talladega. But keep in mind, Talladega, the last time we were there, Fitzwater had a 3rd place finish. So have to see what happens in that regard. Joseph Srigley also still on the racetrack. He's 35th, though. We're going to have to keep tabs on him. We know he got a piece of that wreck, and we'll have to see if that affects him speed-wise during the course of the remainder of this race, as Shane Lake is the leader. James Richardson 2nd, Eli Bright right now the highest running playoff driver in 3rd, 4th Jonathan Zoerlein, 5th Joshua Ciculli, then it's Preston Plourd, Alex Gray, William Brock, Zach Rogers, and Isaac Nicholls, your top 10. Right now we have 3 playoff contenders up inside of the top 10 for this restart. Let's find out where the rest of our Elite 8 are currently going to restart. Dallas McIntosh will restart in 12th place. Ashlyn Boyd will be restarting his Ford back in 20th. Brenna Carmichael will be 21st. And Joseph Srigley will be 35th. We already mentioned Fitzwater out of the race, finishing 42nd here today. So right now, if this were to end at this current point in time, the drivers that would find themselves in the danger zone would be Fitzwater, Srigley, Carmichael, and Boyd. But still a long ways to go in this race. At the stripe, there's 18 laps remaining here at M&M's, and still a green flag pit stop in store for a number of these race leaders. Only driver so far this season that has won a chase race as a playoff driver, that was Alex Gray back at the first chase race at Daytona, which locked himself up a spot here in the round of 8. Right now, he is the 2nd highest running playoff driver in the 5th position. Battling with Zach Rogers right now. So you've got Bright, you've got Rogers, you've got Gray, If any one of them go to victory lane here today, they automatically will be battling for the championship in the Final Four season finale at Zenjoltis. So a lot on the line for drivers like that. Same would also apply to Boyd and Carmichael, Srigley, and McIntosh. Fitzwater will be ineligible for that today as he is already backed in behind the wall. Let's actually, while this battle is not really heated up for the moment for the race lead, let's drop back and find the 77 of Joseph Srigley. And it does appear that whatever the contact was he made with Steve Morgan under that wreck, it has affected him. So this is not good for Joseph Srigley right now. This puts him in a very perilous position heading into Talladega next week. He's trying to get around J Jefferson, who is hoodless at Square D Chevrolet. And there's the tail end of the field right there, including Zajdel, who was one of the drivers that decided to come to pit road under that last caution. So, best case scenario right now for Joseph Srigley is he needs some more of the playoff contenders to get involved in something. Srigley had a really good round one of the chase, but his second round getting off to a bit of a bumpy start. Joshua Ciculli, now the new race leader in the Lowe's Chevrolet. Battle on for second. Zach Rogers there, along with James Richardson, and also peeking out of line there, you can see the red and blue logo, the Valvoline logo on the Ford Taurus of last week's winner from Armory, Zach Flickinger, trying to go 2 in a row. He's actually side by side in a 4-wide situation with the guy that finished runner-up to him last week, Tim Walsh in the 13. J Bryant there as well in the 88. He was a big contender midway through that Armory race. Had one of the strongest cars before the green flag pit stops began last week. Ciculli looking in his rearview mirror. Right now he's seeing some Pontiac Grand Prix logos. Shane Lake with James Richardson. They're going to gang up on his Chevrolet. And now they're going to spread out 3 wide. Here comes the Ford of Tim Walsh. Where's he going to go with all his momentum? Lake will clear for the lead. It might be 3 wide for second place. Whoa, 1 car in the grass. That's Zach Winkle. Let him back up, but no grip in the grass. Nice save, though, by the 97. Keeps it straight, keeps it going, and we are still green. Ashlyn Boyd starting to make his way up towards the front. Not quite in the top 10, but definitely making strides up there. As up front, the lead has changed once again. Ciculli takes it back. And now Shane Lake going to try and get the lead back again. Not a whole lot of drafting help down there, though. In fact, pretty much none. You got to go back about 2 car lengths back to Angel Navarro. That outside line is going to be lined up a little bit better. And Ciculli might keep the lead going into 1. Nope, Shane Lake battles back again down low. Trying to remember, and I want to say it was Levi McIntyre who was involved in the photo finish here the last time we were here with Benjamin Miles. Miles, of course, winning that exchange. We just double check to make sure my facts are correct, and that is indeed the case. That finish was 3 100ths. Our closest finish, of course, at Daytona a couple of weeks ago between Alex Gray and Ashlyn Boyd, 4 1,000ths of a second. And did we have a car just hit pit road? Nope, guess not. Or did we? Nope. All right. It's kind of hard sometimes when they exit off turn 4, they get that little bit of a dive to the inside to try and get a good run off the exit of the corner, and sometimes it looks like they're coming to pit road. Joshua Ciculli, though, out in front, Shane Lake right behind him. Here's a couple of drivers, both that would love to be able to find victory lane for the first time this season in what's been rather struggling years for them. Ciculli comes into this race 35th and points Shane Lake 40th in the standings. So obviously both of them trying to finish out the year with a win, and now the pit stops begin. Shane Lake, Johnny Gardner, Alex Gray, William Brock, Dallas McIntosh, and Brenna Carmichael in this time. 3 of those drivers, the 90, 28, and 73 playoff contenders. So makes those pit stops very important. And it's kind of interesting, too. They're coming to pit road on lap 16. Which almost makes me wonder, is this their only stop, or are they going to have to maybe stop twice, especially these drivers that are pitting as early as they are? I don't know. Be interesting to find out, though. Let's see if any of our leaders hit pit road this lap, and here comes the leader, Ciculli, and he's got a lot of people coming with him. Wow, Flickinger. I don't know if Flickinger made pit road speed or not. That was a little close. Ashland Boyd's in. Oh, trouble! Diego Yepez gets spun off the nose of Ashland Boyd. Right side damage on the 1, but even more importantly, that's going to be some front end damage on the 16. We also had Eli Bright in, another of the playoff contenders. Isaac Nicholls, Preston Plourd also hitting pit road. Ace Garcia, Charles Sandfer, and others. That turns the race lead over, I believe, to the 97. Well, actually, this is a battle for the race lead between Angel Navarro and Zach Winkle. Navarro's in, along with Rogers, Walsh, Bryant, Young, and a couple more. That turns the lead over to Zach Winkle, who stays out, along with Benjamin Miles, our winner here the last time out at M&MS. Kyle Keith also staying out, and I believe these are the last 3 that are yet to hit pit road. I want to go back, though. I think that we're going to have to keep tabs on the 16 of Ashland Boyd after that contact with Diego Yepez on pit road. We've already seen what front-end damage does to the aerodynamics of Joseph Srigley's car. How is that going to affect Ashland Boyd's car here during the course of this race? Miles to pit road, and Winkle will stay out another lap. This is almost looking kind of similar to what we saw at Armory Digital last week. Winkle was one of the few that came to pit road under an early caution. Was able to stay out a little bit longer when the green flag pit stops took place. This 97 team appears to get very good fuel mileage. And I think, did Kyle Keith also stay out? No, he pitted. Right, so we're just waiting on the 97 to come to pit road. And then all the leaders will have hit pit road at least once here today at M&MS. And I'll be very surprised if Winkle stays out an extra lap. I think he's got to come to pit road this time. And he doesn't. So maybe, okay, so I did not go back. When the caution came out, I did not look to see who came down pit road. Maybe Winkle came down pit road under our only caution so far today. That's why he's able to stretch it a little bit further. We'll see. I mean, that car is still up to speed. That car is still under power. How much further can he make it? I think our caution came out on lap 3, so he's about 2 or 3 laps to the good over everybody else if he did indeed come to pit road under that caution. So he could maybe make it one more lap, but I'll be surprised if he doesn't come to pit road this time. It's around the slower damaged car of Steve Morgan, and now let's see, is he signaling he's coming to pit road? Yes, he is. So the race lead will now turn over to a battle between Emmanuel Hartnett, Angel Navarro, and Benjamin Miles. Hartnett right now running in second. The lead will more than likely cycle around to him. And Hartnett wasn't really up battling for the lead when the pit stops began. But he has been to pit road, and now he's going to get freight trained. Angel Navarro will go to the race lead. Miles into second. Hartnett slips back to third, and now he's coming to pit road. So I guess he had also stayed out along with Zach Winkle. Alright, so I thought he had made his pit stop, but that apparently was not the case. Navarro and Miles now side by side for the race lead. The problem is, while these guys battle amongst themselves, that is going to allow last week's winner, Zach Flickinger, along with everybody else, to catch right back up and formulate a big pack. Ciculli right now would be scored in 4th. Kyle Keith in 5th, and apparently that damage did not affect Ashland Boyd, because Ashland's right up here currently in the 6th position. 7th would be Michael Norman, 8th Eli Bright, 9th is under contest. between Tim Walsh, Tony Green, and Austin LaPlante. We've also got Shane Lake, Dallas McIntosh, Dylan Young, and Zach Rogers up in this group. Brenna Carmichael up here as well. So right now, 5 of our playoff drivers are running well. We've got Boyd, Bright, McIntosh, Rogers, and Carmichael. And Zach Winkle did get out of pit road ahead of everybody else, but he now is going to get freight trained and he will lose the lead. So this is officially now your new race leader, Angel Navarro. And when they hit the stripe, there will be 4 laps to go. Benjamin Miles trying to go 2 for 2 here at M&M's. Can he do it? Flickinger trying to go 2 for 2 in his last 2 starts of going to victory lane, winning last week at Armory Digital. And the highest running of the playoff drivers is 6th, Ashlyn Boyd, trying to get up there to win this race to clinch an automatic ticket to battle for the championship in the season finale at Zenjoltis. Now they're getting racy up here at the front. Flickinger takes the lead, but now Winkle goes low, Keith goes lower. Keith, no friends. The middle line's the line that's moving down the back straightaway. And here comes Eli Bright in the 8, another driver that wants an automatic ticket into the final 4. Teammates up front. Flickinger in the 6, Winkle in the 97. Would Winkle be willing to play defense for his teammate, or is Winkle going to try and go for it himself? They are 4 wide behind him. McIntosh now up here in the conversation in the 28. Little more than 2 laps to go here at M&M's. Got playoff contenders up here trying to make their way into the season finale to compete for the championship. You've got drivers up here, though, that just want to find victory lane. Now Winkle going to leave his teammate up top. Here's Winkle going for the race lead. Boyd and Bright, playoff drivers, looking to take 2nd and 3rd. This is going to get really crazy here in the closing stages. 2 laps to go at M&M's. Slow car up ahead. Couple of slow cars. Hartnett, Srigley, and Jefferson. They could play a factor. Winkle with the lead. Playoff drivers working together right now. Boyd and Bright. And now they are closing quickly on those 3 slower machines. Where are they going to go when they catch him is the question. Winkle tries going low. Srigley blocks. Oh, this is bad. They're wadded up. Look at Eli Bright trying to get something going on the high side. The white flag will be displayed this time. Here comes Flickinger down low. And Bright gets boxed in. Flickinger 3 wide for the lead. Look out behind them, though. Here comes Dylan Young. Here comes Angel Navarro. This race isn't over. Flickinger clears for the top position once again. Winkle slots in 2nd. Does he is the question. Look at J Bryant. Here comes Austin LaPlante. Who's going to get the run down the back straightaway? Winkle keeps 2nd. Flickinger still out in front. A car length in hand over his teammate. Can Zach Winkle get enough of a run through 3 and 4 to battle for the lead down the front straightaway? Still about a car length in hand. Zach Flickinger is going to go back to back. He won last week at Armory. He wins this week at M&M's. Second straight win for Zach Flickinger. And the 3rd straight win of the season for Ford. As a matter of fact, Ford swept the top 5. Flickinger, Winkle, Navarro, Bryant, and Young. Blue ovals sweeping the top 5 positions today at M&M's. What a battle there. And Zach Flickinger, right place, right time. Came down between him and his teammate. And Flickinger set up Winkle perfectly and then never let him get back to his bumper to challenge for the win. standings should be official. And our highest finishing playoff driver here today was Brenna Carmichael, finishing in 10th place. Brenna had that kind of shot clock cheese to make it into the round of 8 last week at Armory, and now kind of laying in the weeds, biding his time, gets a solid top 10 run here today. Ashlyn Boyd's going to get 11th, Zach Rogers in 14th, Eli Bright 15th, Dallas McIntosh there in 16th. The points going to be really close amongst them, as right now I believe McIntosh would find himself in the 5th position in points, currently heading into Talladega, first driver in the danger zone. He would be joined by Alex Gray, who finishes 23rd here today, and also by Joseph Srigley, who finishes 36th, one lap down, and Zachary Fitzwater, who finishes today's race behind the wall in the 42nd position. I think that elimination spot, that battle, is really going to be tight between Boyd, Rogers, Bright, and McIntosh next week at Talladega for sure. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens. I think Brenna Carmichael could also be in that as well. It could be 5 drivers battling for 4 spots next week, unless Alex Gray, Joseph Srigley, or Zachary Fitzwater can maybe pull out a last-minute win at next week's 2.66 mile SuperSpeedway. But that's going to do it here today from M&M's. Ford, how dominant have they been the last few weeks? Flickinger with his 2nd straight victory of the season. And next week, we will determine who will be the final 4 to compete for the championship at the season finale at Zen Joltis. Till then, I've been Seth Cole. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's race, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and become part of the crew today. We've shown you full finish results. These are your overall point standings heading next week at Talladega, where we will determine who will be the 4 drivers to compete for the championship here in the Winston SuperSpeedway Series. Till then, I'll see you guys next time. You've been watching a production of the SRA, Offline Racing at its best.